Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador confirmed the kidnapping of at least 14 police officers in Chiapas. More than 30 people were arrested in France during the days of protests in Nantes following the murder of a man by a security officer. Nigerian Muslims celebrate in Lagos Eid Al-Adha, the largest holiday in Islam. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Ana Marrero from the teleSUR headquarters in Caracas, Venezuela. We'll be with the news. Stay with us. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador confirmed the kidnapping of at least 14 police officers in Ocosucuautla, Chiapas, in the southeast of the country. In his morning press conference, the president detailed that the kidnapped persons are workers of the Ocosucuautla prison. López Obrador also stressed that neither in these nor in other cases will there be impunity. Regarding the possible causes of the kidnapping, the president announced that according to the first investigation, it is a confrontation between criminal groups. During the last hours, a video circulated in social networks where an armed group allegedly deprived the police officers of Ocosucuautla of their freedom. In response to the kidnapping, the Secretary of Security and Citizens Protection of Chiapas developed operation to find the victims and arrest those responsible.
They are prison workers from Ocosucuautla who were detained, kidnapped. As we were saying, the instruction is to rescue alive those who were kidnapped. The message to the criminals is that there will be no impunity. They shouldn't think it will be like before.
In Mexico, more than 1,000 hectares in various municipalities of Hidalgo have been damaged by over 100 forest fires recorded so far in 2023. According to Mexico's National Forestry Commission, the state currently faces several threats, such as illegal logging, agricultural expansion, and smokers as the possible causes of forest fires that broke out so far this year. Another possible cause are livestock activities, wasted burning, hunters, and bonfire. In a press conference last week, Hidalgo's government announced informs about a forest fire in San Nicolas Flores, where the wasted burning triggered the fire, which remains active for several days. The government of Colombia, on the third day of the Council of Ministers in La Guajira, they delivered land to members of the Kiwi people and peace signatures needed to the region. The National Land Agency, ANT, expands the Kiwis and Malayo reservations, handing over 3 plots of land, totaling more than 480 hectares and nearly 3,000 square meters in the municipality of Dibuya. The office also awarded more than 190 hectares of lands to the group of peace signatures in the municipality of Fonseca. Through a communique, the government announced the delivery of titles to these lands in compliance with a land right restitution sentence issued in September 2022 by the Civil Land Restitution Chamber of the Superior Court of the Judicial District of Cartagena. The Central American Games advanced with the participation of women basketball teams to reach the semifinals. The gold medal in artistic swimming for Mexicans and gold medals in the table tennis in both men and women's individuals. Our special envoy, Renato Barz, tells us about it.
Two groups of 4 teams make up the women's basketball competition in these Central American and Caribbean Games. In the group phase, both the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico are emerging as undefeated teams. And these medals will be disputed between the Dominican Republic against Cuba and Puerto Rico against the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I mean, look, we're excited that we were able to make it this far, and again, we know there's a bunch of competitive teams in this tournament, so we're just going to come in and respect everybody that comes on the court with us.
The Mexican quintet in Group A is in jeopardy of reaching the final stage of the competition, as is the situation of the local team in Group B.
There is a very high level, to say the truth. We have been placed in a very tough group where we have had to adjust to grow as a team.
In contrast, the Mexicans have performed well in artistic swimming, where they won the gold medal in the mixed free duet competition, whose routine was scored by the judge with a total score of 181.75.
We always try to practice our heights before we get into the water and do our routine. We practice our technique. We do like the basic things of synchro to get into it and get well in line, which makes things easier for us in the water.
The Colombian duo obtained a total score of 145.79 for their routine, which earned them the silver medal. We are still happy for the effort we made. We know we have worked a lot for this. There were moments when we had to be very concentrated. We may have been a bit tired, which didn't allow us to achieve our objectives, the things we had to accomplish. On Tuesday, Central American Sports Day, the finals of individual table tennis were also held, both in men's and women's, where the Puerto Rican Adriana Diaz beat the Mexican Yatra Silva for 2-0. In men's table tennis, the golden medal went to the Cuban Andy Pereira, who beat the Puerto Rican Brian Afanado by a score of 4-1.
Hernán Darío Tobar Gaitán, Telesur, San Salvador, El Salvador.
Let's take a very short break now, but remember you can now follow us on our TikTok account teleSUR English, in which you will be able to see news in different formats, news updates and more. Stay tuned for more news. Welcome back to From the South. In France, more than 30 people were arrested during the day of protests in the municipality of Nanterre following the murder of a young man by a security officer. According to local media, the incident in the department of House-du-Seine resulted in 24 police officers with minor injuries and 4 cars set on fire. Government authorities detailed that a total of 2,000 police officers and gendarmes were deployed in the locality. In addition, there were vandalistic acts in the place, among which they reported the burning of garbage containers. The government of Lithuania said on Wednesday it has brought 2 Norwegian main NASAMS air defense launchers from Ukraine and will deliver them within 3 months. The announcement came as Lithuania's President Gitanas Nausėda arrived in Kiev for talks with his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky. Lithuania's Defense Minister Aviras Anusaukas said the deal with Norwegian firm Kongsberg was worth 9.8 million euros, and that his government will also send M113 armored transport vehicles to Ukraine along with munitions, which are said to be delivered later this year. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov spoke on Wednesday about the immunity attempt staged by the Wagner Group over the weekend and didn't rule out the possibility that the United States might have played a role in these events.
Statements have been made that the United States is not interfering in Russia's internal affairs, not planning a regime change in Russia. It was said by the Strategic Communications Coordinator, Mr. Kirby. If I'm not mistaken, knowing the track record of the United States regarding regime change, such a statement sounds somewhat artificial.
The top Russian diplomat also recalled that Washington openly financed opposition organizations in his country.
Knowing how a few years ago American foundations and non-governmental organizations worked in our country, what they did, how they courted and trained the opposition in every possible way, there is no need to go into this topic in detail. This is an obvious slyness.
The Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs declared a regular situation with the Wagner Group over and assured that the events did not represent any change in its country's strategy with the respect to the special operation in Ukraine.
President Putin has already answered over the past few days. He has repeatedly made detailed assessment of the current situation, emphasizing that having overcome the attempted mutiny, we have not sacrificed targets for a special military operation at all, and have not lost any positions on the battlefield.
On Wednesday, Russia is calling on responsible countries not to participate in the so-called Global Peace Summit proposed by Kiev due to the provocative nature of this initiative. Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova stated that they were urging countries that truly stir from peace not to participate in this enterprise. Zakharova stressed that anyone with any experience or knowledge realized that first of all, peace depends on ceasing bloodshed, and in this absence of this, not return tables, reference conference, or the symposiums will achieve anything. She also explained that there is no faith in worlds that will be turning there. They simply need to take yet another information and the political event of the list.
Without any doubt, Alexander Grigorjevich Lukashenko is an outstanding statesman, a skilled politician, a diplomat, a person capable of quickly solving many of the most difficult issues and non-trivial tasks. Unconditionally, he could make a significant contribution to the achievement of peace agreements if the Kiev regime wanted, but in fact doesn't want this. We call on the states that truly aspire to peace and all the more express desire and readiness to play a constructive role in the search for a political and diplomatic solution to the conflict not to participate in this affair. It is provocative. Your presence at the summit is necessary for the West only in order to create the appearance of broad support for its outcome, and just postpones the prospect of a peace.
Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova urged the governments of Armenia and Azerbaijan to find a peaceful solution to the conflict over the control of Nagorno-Karabakh region. The Karabakh Defense Ministry blamed Azerbaijan for opening artillery fire on Armenia's position. The clashes erupted a day after Washington initiated 3 days of talks between Armenian and Azerbaijani officials in the latest attempts to quell a conflict.
We are concerned over the increasingly frequent armed incidents and ceasefire violations in Nagorno-Karabakh. We call on the parties for restraints and for settling all the contentious issues by peaceful, political, diplomatic means in cooperation with the command of the Russian peacekeeping contingent. I will believe that the de-escalation of the situation would be facilitated by the speedy adoption of measures to fully unblock the Russian corridor and creating conditions for the normal life of the civilian population.
We have our last break, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, stories, special broadcasts, and more. Hit the subscription button and activate the notification bell to stay up to the date of the world's most recent events. For financial break, don't go away. Welcome back. On Wednesday, China signed cooperative arrangement with New Zealand during a visit by Prime Minister Chris Hipkins aimed at improving market access for Western countries that has long maintained a conciliatory approach toward China. Both sides agreed on a joint declaration to strengthen trade and expand cooperation in areas such as e-commerce, green economy, and establish dialogue mechanism on new energy vehicles. Additionally, they agreed on strengthening cooperation on food security and agriculture based on recent talks in areas including diplomacy and defense. New Zealand, unlike other Western countries, has historically taken a conciliatory approach to China, and last year it upgraded its free trade pact with the Asian Union. In Myanmar, at least 10 civilians are reported dead in a village after an alleged bombing by army. According to the local media, a military plane dropped 3 bombs on Tuesday on the village of Yungkon in the north of the Sagaing region. The action also left at least 8 wounded and 11 houses destroyed. According to the testimonies, the country is threatened by the violent conflict between the military junta and its opponent, what has been going on since the military coup of February 1st, 2021. European Union observers have released a final report on Nigeria's recent elections, revealing significant problems that undermine public trust in the electoral process. The report emphasized the need for the reforms to enhance transparency and accountability in the future elections. President Bola Tinubu emerged as the winner of the dispute on February votes, which is currently being challenged in court by his main rivals. The European Union missions identified 6 priority areas for improvement, including the clarifying electoral law, ensuring real-time publications and access to results, and crackdown on electoral offensives. On Wednesday, Nigerian Muslims in Lagos celebrate Eid Al-Adha, one of the biggest feasts in the Islam calendar. Faithfuls gather for morning prayers at mosques or the designated prayer grounds, and then they greet each other and engage in acts of charity. One of the main traditions of the Adha is the sacrifice of an animal, usually a goat, sheep, cow, or camel. The purpose of the sacrifice is to remember the biblical stories about the prophet Abraham's willingness to sacrifice his own son after receiving a command from God in a dream. The meat from the sacrificed animal is divided into 3 parts. 1/3 for the family, 1/3 for the relative and friends, and 1/3 for the less fortunate. Eid marks the yearly Muslim pilgrimage to visit Mecca in Saudi Arabia, the holiest place in Islam. Some businesses owners and livestock vendors points out that this year's getting rams have been difficult, and they hope next year will be better.
And every year I used to get 2 ram and keep 2 ram, but this year, in fact, even I'm about to pay 1 now. I'm still going up and down. You can even see me. I go straight down, coming back down here, 150, 200. Come on, it's not easy for this year.
We usually buy the rams in CFA francs, and when we bring them to Nigeria, we sell them in Naira. But now the Naira currency has lost so much value that we buy everything with Chadian CFA.
It is not possible for you to compare this year with the previous year because normally there's an inflation in everything currently in Nigeria. So with that said, you should understand it won't be cheap. So sincerely, ram is kind of like costly this year. So we pray maybe probably for next everything will be back to normal.
Spain's State Meteorological Agency announced on Tuesday a state of alert for the heat wave that affects several areas in the country since last Sunday. The agency declared the maximum alert level for the Canary Islands, Extremadura, and Andalusia, while 17 other autonomous communities are on orange alert. Authorities didn't rule out that the temperature could reach 44 degrees centigrade in the most affected areas. Non-governmental organizations reported 2 deaths in rural areas due to the hot temperatures. In the industry and agricultural workers representative requested measures to mitigate the situation, including drinking plenty of water. We have come to the end of this news brief, but you can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. You can also use us on our socials from Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram as well. For Telesur English, I'm from the South, I'm Ana Marrero. Thank you for watching.